Okay guys, continuing the VHS collection series that I've been keeping up for a while. In this video, I plan to finish off all of the Disney clamshells, or big boxes as I sometimes call them, in this part. And then the next one will focus on, I guess, ones from other studios, I guess you could say. So without further ado, let's get started. So first up, we have the sequel to the John Hughes adaptation of 101 Dalmatians, entitled 102 Dalmatians. Now you might be asking why not the first one. I actually have it on Laserdisc, but my player's been out of commission for quite a while, and I've yet to replace it. Nice label. Usually the labels are pretty plain, but this one they actually did something a little special for it. February 8th, 2001, and February 15th, 2001. Okay, in the tradition of Mary Poppins, Disney decided to adapt another classic piece of British literature into a live-action film, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Now, this movie actually came out a few years after Walt had passed away, but I think this was a movie he did greenlight before his passing. February 11th, 1990... Actually, not February. May 11th, 1992, and May 12th, 1992. I saw it 2 at first, and I was thinking, wait, okay, February, but no, it's May. Okay, next we have Pixar's second feature film, and this is their only VHS release that was presented in widescreen. And that is A Bug's Life. They had to get the widescreen specific version. It wasn't just any copy of A Bug's Life that was in widescreen. But given the 21:9 aspect ratio, this movie really needs a widescreen release. Pan and scan just won't cut it. April 22nd, 1999. I know with the standard full screen version, they had 5 different covers, but I think the widescreen version, they just had the one with flick. Speaking of A Bug's Life, I don't know why I didn't show in the last segment, but I have another copy. This is from the Gold Classic Collection, which was kind of their value range from the early 2000s. Not too many titles came out. I'm not sure if the series just wasn't very successful, or if they decided to just change up the strategy. Now, unlike the last copy I showed, this one isn't full screen or pan and scan. So it's a suboptimal way of watching the film. June 24th, 2001, and September 1st, 2001. Unfortunately, this case isn't in that great condition. The tape is fine, the artwork's fine. It's just that, unfortunately, there's some denting. I need to, I have to be the first to admit I'm pretty lazy. I've yet to replace the case on this one, and some others. Okay, this next one is a Disney film, but this video was distributed by a label known as Anchor Bay. Charlie the Lonesome Cougar. Which, I think this movie had multiple sequels, from what I remember. But yeah, you can see Disney Enterprises, but distributed through Anchor Bay. A label that doesn't exist anymore. They actually lived a long time. They were still active up till about, like, a few years ago. But in their later years, they weren't distributing very much. I think it was mainly, catch the tape, there we go. I think they were mainly distributing Weinstein Company films in their last few years. But they were still active for quite a long time. Okay, next I have what I believe was the highest grossing animated film for a time. Finding Nemo. This was, I believe, the second highest grossing film of 2003. Only beaten out at the very end of the year by Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. So, this was one of those animated films where it really drew in a huge audience. It wasn't just like children and families and whatnot. A lot of adults were turning up to see it, and that was because Pixar was one of those animation studios that were making films that appealed to a very broad audience. November 27th, 2003, and December 2nd, 2003. Okay, next we have a Disney film that's actually very popular among women, surprisingly. The Fox and the Hound. This is, once again, part of the Gold Classic Collection, which, as I mentioned before, was kind of their budget range at the time. These titles usually didn't sell for a lot of money. And this tape belonged to me when I was really young, and so that's why the label's all messed up. I think it's because I discovered when I was young that they recycled tapes from previous video releases, and I found there was something under the label. It was recycled from some tape. April 1st, 2000. Here's a Disney film I really liked growing up. The 2003 adaptation of Freaky Friday. AKA, I've seen all the versions of Freaky Friday, and this is probably the best out of the bunch. I think there's been like 3 or 4 adaptations. This is my personal favorite. It's a remake that's done right. October 30th, 2003. Here we have a hidden gem from the Disney Film Library, a Goofy movie. A movie that sadly bombed when it came out in the mid-90s, but has since become a cult classic. February 16th, 2002, and February 22nd, 2002. Okay, next we have the first of, I think, at least 3 Muppet titles. The Great Muppet Caper. I kind of like how, with many of the Muppet titles, they package them in green cases. December 13th, 1992. Helps them to kind of stand out on a video dealer's shelf. This next movie is objectively bad, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure. Inspector Gadget. Objectively, this movie is horrible, but it's a funny bad movie, at least to me. September 17th, 2004. Next, we have a classic Disney live-action film, Kidnapped. By the way, I think this is kind of cool. The book was written by Robert Louis Stevenson, of course, but the movie was written and directed by Robert Stevenson, who I think he also directed Old Yeller, from what I remember. November 9th, 2001, and November 14th, 2001. You might have seen this not too long ago in an update video, but I decided to go over it briefly. We have that Lion King celebration video that I presented before, which I've yet to give this a watch. Of course, this is a conversion. It was originally a PAL copy, but then it was converted to NTSC format. I will give you guys a warning. This was one of my childhood videos, so don't mind the not very good condition of this tape. Of course, it's Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, but I actually had another copy that was in better condition, but the tape played horribly. But it wasn't like I could swap them over because it was the Gold Classic Collection release, and that plays completely differently than this one. I think the Gold Collection copy had different trailers, and I think it also had a music video at the end of the film. October 17th, 1999. I think this tape still works, it's just the case is not in very good condition. On the contrary, this tape is in much better condition. Muppet Classic Theater. August 26th, 1994. Other than a little bit of handwriting that's right here, belonged to some guy named Craig. The rest of the tape is in really nice condition. Okay, here we have the last Muppet title for this video, and maybe for the whole series, unless I have some foreign release. The Muppet Movie. Once again, like the Great Muppet Caper, this comes in a green case, which was pretty unique for the time. Kind of helps to have it stand out on the shelf. Hold on a sec, folks. I can't get it to focus. December 14th, 1992. I apologize, guys. My camera was giving me trouble. Next, we have another classic Disney live-action film, and a very iconic one. The Parent Trap. Of course, this is the original from the 60s. It's not the 1998 remake with Lindsay Lohan. As you can see, this copy was made in Canada. So you have a cartridge or lot number instead of a manufacture date, 4 out of 21. Okay, unlike A Bug's Life, I'm going to show both these tapes at the same time, because they're both very similar. And that is Pinocchio. We have the 60th anniversary edition from 1999, and the Gold Classic Collection version from 2000. Both have almost identical covers. I think I compared these at one point in the past. I think it was whenever I got this one. September 20th, 1999. And then here's the Gold Classic Collection release, which you can find the case every once in a while, but it's hard to actually find the tape. Usually, they'll have this tape with the 1999 manufacture date inside the newer box. But I was actually able to find a proper Gold Classic Collection tape inside the Gold Classic Collection box. After years of searching, I managed to find one. November 22nd, 2001, and December 3rd, 2001. So. In terms of bonus features, I think both of these are the same. I think it's the same print of the film. Main difference is trailers. The trailer reel on this one is updated a little bit. Though, what's interesting is that these tapes came out within months of each other. This came out in October of 1999, I believe. This came out in March 2000. So these were months apart. So all things considered, this tape didn't have a huge update to its trailer reel. But they're both very interesting tapes indeed. Just this one happens to be rarer than this one. Okay, here's yet another Gold Classic Collection tape. And that is Pocahontas. At least this time they actually gave it a new cover, rather than just recycling an old one. April 25th, 2000. Okay, here's a live-action Disney film that I believe came out in the 70s, I believe. I think it's one that's no longer in circulation. It's kind of hard to find now. Rascal. I recall watching this movie a pretty good amount growing up. This, Old Yeller, Swiss Family Robinson, these were on relative repeat growing up. March 6th, 2003 and March 31st, 2003. And I believe this was the premiere video release of the film, around like 2002, 2003. This looks like something they would have put out in the 80s, but it skipped a video release in the 80s, to my knowledge. Of course, Christmas is long over, but we have at least 2 Christmas films in this video. We have The Santa Claus. This is the special edition from, I believe, 2002 is when it came out. Exclusive Santa Claus 2 sneak peek. I believe that's actually the teaser trailer. It actually plays before the film, during the rest of the trailers. So it's not really a bonus feature, per se, because it's just a trailer that's attached. Now, if this sneak peek was like a 5 to 10 minute featurette, I would count that as a real bonus feature. But no, it's just a trailer. September 12th, 2004. Okay, next we have, I believe this movie aired on The Wonderful World of Disney, and I gotta be real with you guys. I don't know why the hell I have this. Santa Who. I guess this was probably the reason that got me interested, is just the plot. It just sounds really silly. It sounds like a TV movie plot. It's also kind of funny that they promote that this is in the tradition of the Santa Claus, even though these movies are completely different in terms of their plots. But I guess they want to put the name of a better film, they want to attach it to this to try to get some rentals. October 14th, 2001. I'm not sure if I'll end up keeping this. I'm not sure if I ever even watched it, because it just looks so, I don't know, just looks kind of silly to me. Kind of a silly movie. Okay, next we have one of Disney's earliest live-action films, So Dear to My Heart. And it's especially early because this was made at a time where the few live-action films they made were all hybrid movies, meaning that they were mostly live-action, but they had, say, animated characters or animated segments kind of sprinkled throughout. This still has the original inserts. I'll kind of go through these real quick. Okay, this doesn't fold out. This is a little booklet. So, I'll go through this real quick. It's not especially long. Of course, they gotta tell you that these are gonna be put on moratorium. Buy them now. Thank goodness that policy's gone. But hey, got people to buy the videos. And then they've got a little ad for Beauty and the Beast on the back. Proof of purchase and a registration card. Looks like July 8th, 1992. That looks like it's the only print date on this. That's interesting. Usually if they have like a dark ink one, that usually means there's going to be another date on top. But no. Not this one at least. Oh, wait. There is, but it's impossible to read. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's July 9th, 1992, but you can hardly read it on camera. Hell, even off camera, I am having a hard time reading it. I swear, at first it looked like it was just that one tiny date at the bottom, but no, there was another one that was bigger, but it was impossible to read. Okay, next up we have The Spirit of Mickey, which was a compilation of Mickey Mouse shorts. That was put out in 1998 to commemorate this, I think it was the 70th anniversary of the character's debut. And this short, Steamboat Willie, which I believe is set to go in the public domain soon. I think it's later this fall, it's going to go in the public domain. June 3rd, 1998. I know Disney fought tooth and nail to keep that copyright, but it looks like they're going to lose it. Next up, we have Swiss Family Robinson. And I wasn't kidding. This was on repeat when I was a kid. You could tell the box is a little beaten up. But it's in better condition than some of the other tapes that I've shown previously. January 11th, 2005. Okay, next we have what is considered by many to be the last of the Disney Renaissance films, Tarzan. Now, I actually call the Renaissance as Disney's second golden age, where they put out a lot of their best work. But I actually don't consider Tarzan to be the last of that particular era or string of films. I actually consider the last one to be Fantasia 2000. December 31st, 1999. Because Fantasia 2000 was something that was in the works throughout the 90s. And I think they actually wanted it out around 1997 or even 1998. But ultimately, it didn't get released until I think around Christmas of 1999. But it was kind of a limited release. Hell, even when it got to regular theaters, because I think it was exclusive to IMAX for a while. I think it was only in a handful of theaters. So the movie barely made it to theaters, but I still consider it to be the last of the Renaissance, not Tarzan. Okay, and the last tape for this video, we're kind of ending with a little bit of a bang. We have Toy Story. Actually, I think I might have Toy Story 2 somewhere. At least I thought I had Toy Story 2. But I may be confusing it with a DVD or a Blu-ray. August 29th, 2001 and September 4th, 2001. Of course, this is the special edition from 2000. It's not the original 1996 release. Alright, and that'll do it for this part. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as I said before, coming up next will be essentially the rest of the big boxes. It may become a two-parter. I'm not sure yet, but it may become a two-parter. And then after that, I'll probably do like a quick video on smaller cases. Essentially, it's what some people call cut boxes. They're just like small plastic cases. And then we'll move on to foreign releases. So if you guys enjoyed the series so far, stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys later.